Welcome to Unapologetic and Free
We are sisters by blood.
and Friends by Choice.
I'm Sharnay.
I'm Lekia, and we are excited about this episode of You Don't Know My Story. We have the lovely Miss Frankie, and I don't want to mess up your last name, so I'm going to let you go ahead and introduce yourself and just tell us a little bit about who you are.
Hi, my name is Frankie Wigfall. Um, a little bit about myself. Uh, my mother, I come from my mother and my father, uh, Willie Wigfall, David Wigfall. Um, I have three beautiful children by the name of Christopher, Calandria, and Kendall. Uh, I live here in Dallas, and forgive me, I'm a little nervous.
No
um,
worries.
I'm a teacher, work for the district, and I'm just excited to be here.
Thank you. Well, we're excited to have you.
Exactly. What about how many grandchildren do you have?
I actually have nine grandchildren. I have
Wow.
nine grandchildren. I have five, let's see, one, two, three, five, six granddaughters, and the rest are boys.
Woo.
Yeah.
That's awesome. A lot of grandkids.
Yes. But most of them is from the oldest child, which is married, which is Christopher.
Now, what would you like our learners, our listeners, and viewers to take away from your story?
Well, I would love for them to take away is about breaking generation curses and being truthful. I know a lot of times as we grow, um, we run across different difficulties in our family as a child. And so I know a lot of times, the parents think, oh, well, I'm protecting the child. And, oh, well, we don't want the kids in the grown-ups business, which is fine, because by all means necessary, you're supposed to protect your child. But I just feel like as the child become a certain age, is when you're supposed to sit down at the table and have an open discussion. Because if not, then how do you expect for their child to be truthful or to discuss things that's bothering them, and it comes from the dysfunction of not being told the truth.
Okay. Okay. So, where are you going to start your story for us?
Oh wow. Mm, what I want to start it? Well, I want to start it from uh, being in the home with my dad and my mom, which my mom married my stepfather, which I call is my dad, and they got married when I was like about 9 months. He adopted us, but he always said that I always had two fathers, but I never saw the other father. But they never really explained to us uh, the different situations and things of that. So growing up, once we became a certain age, I felt like they should have sat down and discussed to us about the other father, or made it a little bit more clearly so we can understand it. And I understand that back then the older people, out of sight, out of mind, but not being truthful about two fathers, I feel like as I got older, I should have had the opportunity to choose, if I chose to interact with him or not interact with him. And so what I mean by that is over here, I didn't look like them, I didn't act like them, I didn't respond like them. So I always felt different. And so the different comments, the different things that were said, you know, it did leave an impact on me. So to overhear, I could at least got an opportunity to know that side of the family, know those people, and let it kind of be my choice. So with me not having that opportunity, I feel like that, you know, it should be truth. It should become a time in life where, you know, even though the truth, like they say, the truth might hurt, but I feel like if you discuss it, then it won't repeat. The cycle won't be repeated, you know. And I think a lot of times we feel like we're doing a service by not saying anything, but in fact that we really end up repeating the same cycle. I can use this as an example. If a mother have get pregnant when she was a teenager, and you try everything in your possibility to give them, buy them things, get them things, do all this stuff, and then they still end up pregnant as a teenager. But you never sat down and you never discussed with them on why, how come, what was the reason behind you going out looking and seeking attention from a young man. So it wasn't so much of you getting pregnant at the age of 15 or 16 in your teens, it was the lack of communication. So I think if the communication would be a little bit better, then I think we will have a better understanding on what life is really about. And a lot of times we talk about or we say what we think you should know, but not what you really should know, and be just truthful. And I know some of the things that we go through in life, we feel like we shouldn't discuss with our kids. But I feel like we do, because if you don't, the cycle will repeat itself.
Mhm.
It would definitely repeat itself. And then you'll say, well, how did I end up here? Or how did my child end up here? I was trying to protect them from being here, but it'll be a reverse thing all over again. And it's back like you back at square one.
So you said that your stepdad was married your mom when you were 9 months old. So when did you find out, get a more clear picture of the two fathers? Or what would be said to you to say when you were growing up, you have two fathers? Give us an example.
Okay, so for holidays was like Christmas, birthdays, Easter, uh he would always, I guess, drop things off, or my mom would always have a meetup spot or whatever. And so he was allowed to give us things, but we wasn't allowed to see him. And I think, not trying to jump ahead of myself, but I think what was really devastating is because we wasn't able to sit down and have a full discussion about it. So we were just told this, but it was really never explained. It would only come up when my birthday would come. It would be like, oh, well, this is from me, but this is from your other dad. And I'll be like, what? You know, it was very, very confusing, you know. And so I would go and ask my mom. I'd be like, Mom, you know, she's, oh, don't worry about it. You just got two dads, you know, like brushed it off a little bit. But again, that still left a big puzzle or some question that I wanted to be answered, and I couldn't get an answer, you know, a full answer. So not trying to jump ahead of myself, but when I finally got the conversation about my real father is when I was 34 years old. And I had to step in and take care of someone that I had no clue or nothing about. So I was just told to sit down, and the father that, you know, was always told that I had another father. Oh, by the way, now you have to take care of him. Okay, well, and it was like, what? You know, so yeah.
So what did that consist of What do you mean you had to take care of him?
Well, he ended up being sick. He ended up having cancer. And my stepfather, he was like, well, I raised you, I raised y'all well, I raised y'all to do this. Yes, you did all that. But I'm still was, now I'm told, okay, I need you to take care of your real father. And it was me and my other three sisters. And so I'm like, okay, but what do you mean? Oh, you can't ask questions, you just have to take care of him. But that made me angry. It made me frustrated because I feel like once again something was dumped on to me, and I was just told to just do it. So I had to take care of somebody, and I wanted to ask questions, but at that time, because of his illness, I was told you could not ask questions that things about my life, about where I come from, who was my other grandparents, who do I have any more sisters and brothers, these questions and things like this, where was you born? Who was your mother? Who was your grandmother? Did you have any brothers and sisters? I didn't get a chance to really get all of that out to the fullness like I wanted to, because when he was introduced to me, like I said, he was so sickly, and they told us he only had like a year and 6 months to live because the cancer had already pretty much took over his body. So of course, once again, I had to take care of him, and so it kind of put me in a situation of lack of trust. If I use that trusting, just trusting what people say, and I don't try to be judgmental, and I don't try to overthink things, but I assure all the time, when I'm talking to people, I don't want to seem like I'm judgmental, or do I come across as being judging, but it's just because of the fact that I want to know facts. You know what I'm saying? So I will pull from the facts, or I will say da 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 da. So yeah.
Do you know if your father knew who you were? Did he ever acknowledge who you were when you went to go take care of him?
He did. He was very aware of me. Yes. Yes. He was I was his favorite. But unfortunately, due to like I said, I really don't know what all he was engaged in, or what all what his lifestyle was about, because I didn't get that, it wasn't told to me. It wasn't told to me. And I think it was a good thing because it did protect me from uh, a lot of things from his past, so it wouldn't have affected me. But it still left I would say like an empty hole of the just not knowing.
And how is your relationship currently with your mother and your stepfather?
Well, my mom, we had a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful relationship. Unfortunately, I lost her 2 years ago. With my stepdad, unfortunately, everybody knows once mom gone and you have stepfathers, they tends to go and live their life, which is fine because I feel like that he gave my mom 55 strong, beautiful, exciting years. So I don't have any regrets about that because I had a wonderful childhood. So I can't take from that part of it, you know, uh, for as him being a father. It's a difference from a dad and then a father and a provider. So
So do your adult children, they acknowledge your stepfather as grandfather, or do they even have a relationship with him since your mother has passed away?
well, honestly, since my mom passed, I think she was more of the backbone. She was more of the like soul food. She was soul mama, you know. And I think that we all still talk, but I wouldn't say that we are as close as we used to be. Um, of course, you know, being raised with step parents, you know, you're not gonna get 100% of if it was your biological parents, but you're gonna get what you need out of it, if that makes sense. But we still talk, we still interact. I think he misses my mom a lot. He misses my mom a lot, and I think that um, we go over there, but I try to get away from the, talking about my mom a lot because it can send you into a spiral of depression,
Mm.
you know. So I try to stay away from that as much as possible if I can, but I check on him, I see how he's doing, I go by there, things of that nature. But before it's that, we still communicate.
Good. That's good to hear. So would you say that knowing what you know now about your childhood has that or did that affect how you raised your children?
Yes, I would say that yes, in a sense, because uh, I always wanted to tell my kids the truth. You know, I believe in no matter what it might be, or you might not understand it. Um, and when you do that, it tends to stop a lot of unnecessary hurt. You know, it stops from you bumping your head or running into the brick wall, you know, and I'll try to let them know that my story cannot be your story, because in life what happens is God have us all to go down a different road. Your road might not be my road,
Mm-hmm.
but we all have a story and the story might be different. But what I cannot do is put my hurt, my misunderstandings, my childhood, my burdens onto you, and then you suck all that in, and then you end up repeating the same thing. So it's good to let them know the truth. Hey, this hurt me. Hey, this didn't feel comfortable. Hey, this is what happened when I had this. Okay, this is, this didn't feel this way. This, and just be truthful about it. And then let them make their choice on what they choose to do with that information by being truthful. And I think that's what a lot of us, we don't really do when it come down to our kids, is we had so much stuff, and then you have the sibling being mad at you because one parent will say this and then the other parent will say that, and nobody will say, no, well, that's not true. You know what I'm saying?
So who is Frankie today? What do you want our listeners and our viewers to know about who you are today in this present day?
Well, I would like them to know that I am a phenomenal woman. Uh, I have overcome, I have overcame a lot of struggles. I have been married uh, to my husband. Unfortunately, we divorced. I always been in church. I always been spiritual. Know the word. Great listener. Great motivator. A teacher. A servant. Uh, just all that wrapped into one, and love people, love people, sacrifice myself to put other people first. You know, I always put other people's opinions, thoughts. I always find myself loving on people, helping people to get to the next level because I get a joy out of seeing people heal, seeing people be complete, seeing people get a better understanding of what they're going through and not being judgmental or helping you get to look at it in a totally different way, you know. So that's who I am.
You forgot you're a great friend too.
Of course, you're not a friend, you're a sister.
You're a great friend. So how did your relationship with your parents, did that affect your marriage? Because you said that you were married.
Yes, it did affect my marriage, I feel like, because of some things like I didn't see my parents argue. I didn't see my parents have a disagreement. I didn't see my parents, do all that stuff. So when I got married, it was strictly raised church, da 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 da. But in a relationship and in marriage, when you have difficulties or disagreements, you're supposed to talk them out. You're supposed to, work it out. You're supposed to come to the table and sit down and get some understanding. Well, because I never saw that and I didn't understand it, I thought something was wrong with that. When me and my ex-husband have a misunderstanding, I would be like, oh, something's wrong with you. You're not normal. Why are you arguing? Why are you fussing? What are you talking about? Why are you so negative? Because I came from the church and he came from the world, but at the same time, well, he was a good provider and all that, but the communication part, I think that I was shown that, oh, it's supposed to be perfect, and it's not that. It's not that. It's not that at all. It's not that at all. It is not that at all. So by me seeing it and I made a mistake with that, it cost me my marriage. It cost me my marriage because I didn't think that was normal. So I walked away.
So you weren't equipped to face the challenges in marriage because you had never seen your parents have any challenges in marriage.
Exactly. And I feel like if I would have saw that, then I could have dealt with it in a different way. So that's why I say about being truthful. You have to be truthful. You have to let kids see things in order for. Now, I'm not saying all things, but it's nothing wrong with, your mom and dad getting into a little disagreement in front of the children. It's nothing wrong with that. So you'll know, okay, well, hey, this is normal. They're going to argue and they're going to fuss, they're going to have disagreements. I'm not saying fight or stuff like that, but I'm just saying to have different little words. It's okay, but when you don't see certain things and you grow up a certain way, you think it's supposed to be like this. They're just like if you go to a refrigerator and you don't see no juice or orange juice, or you see something else, then you think that that's normal. But you go to somebody else's house, you might see orange juice, soda, this and that, and you be like, wow, wait a minute. You see what I'm saying? It's like it's a difference.
Okay.
Do you feel like you've had an opportunity, since being divorced, to learn or have a better understanding of what open communication is and what a healthy relationship should look like?
Yes. And so one thing I have learned that to be honest, to go in being honest, being truthful, and pick and choosing your battles. I'm not saying because going into a relationship, you're gonna have your ups and your downs, but it's just certain things that if if you're going in and you know that this person is like this, you get a full understanding up front. And so once you get that fully understanding up front, you say, okay, well, I could deal with this. It's not that bad. You know what I'm saying? Or you could say, okay, well, this is something I don't want to deal with, or this is something I feel like I can handle. But you cannot go into it and then trying to change that person, because you don't go into a relationship trying to change anyone. You cannot do that. You can go in by loving each other and knowing each other's different. You're different, I'm different. Whatever area you're strong in, you work that area. Wherever I'm strong in, I work that area. Then we bring it together and we become as one. But we can't have two people bullheaded in the relationship. That ain't gonna work.
So would you say that you're open to love? Have you closed the door on love, or are you still open to potentially finding love and working and having a healthy marriage?
I'm open. I'm open. I'm very much open. I feel like that when God send that right one, uh, I'm gonna know it. You know, I'm not gonna say that he's gonna be this perfect person, because there's no such thing as perfect person. But I feel like that we're gonna be able to agree to disagree, and we're gonna be able to communicate. That's the most important thing to me, is the communication. You know, I have to communicate. We have to talk. We have to discuss some things. You know, we have to make sure that we get some clear understanding on some things. So I will say that I'm open.
And do you have any plans for the future? Or is there anything that you would hope for? Or again, we always like to ask, what is it that you would like to say to encourage someone that might stumble upon this video a year from now, someone who might listen at any time? What is it that you would like to say to them?
Be honest with yourself. Be truthful, and always be open for love. Don't let your past block your future. You know, don't let your past block your future. You know, and I know a lot of times that different things that we've been through in life, we can put up a wall and we won't let anyone in, or we won't let anyone get closer to us because we're afraid of getting hurt. But how would you know if love will really works again if you don't open up? So be willing to open up, be willing to give it a chance, be willing to understand, trying to keep trying, just keep trying, keep trying, keep trying. Don't ever give up.
Okay, I like that. Keep trying, don't ever give up. And I think that is a great place to end. Lekia, what do you think?
I agree. I'm encouraged just to, again, be truthful. Just knowing that it is the truth that makes you free. It is the truth. When the truth is what I say, is because when you know the truth, then it really doesn't matter what anybody else says or does. Is because it's the truth that you know that gives you that strength and that power to overcome, because you know the truth. So I'm a firm believer in just being truthful, open, honest, and transparent. So I am grateful. I appreciate, again, you coming on, being willing and open to share your story.
Yes, it's to communicate.
Communicate, yes. Very important. It's very important. And I think that's why a lot of relationships, I think a lot of breakdown in the homes with the children and different one is because of lack of communication. Lack of communication. We hold things in, and things that we should be wanting to discuss, we don't discuss it because we're afraid of the feedback from what question we're trying to ask. Let's just be truthful.
Amen. Amen. Well, again, thank you so much for joining us. Thank you for coming on to the show. We're grateful. We appreciate you. And we just pray that God continue choice blessings upon your life.
Thank you. Thank you.